The boardwalk is the cultural center of the Jersey Shore, so let's go there. Come on, man.
Yeah, all right.
Go to the boardwalk.
Charlie, there's all kinds of rides and games and opportunities to win stuffed toys.
Yeah, man, the boardwalk is a blast, man. But it is under the boardwalk where the action really happens. Trust me, pal. Yeah.
Oh, what's down there?
Oh, Charlie, come on.
Hi there, and welcome to Baseball by Design. I am SportsLogos.net minor league baseball correspondent Paul Caputo, broadcasting live, as always, from the Sunday Helmet Hall of Fame in my basement in Fort Collins, Colorado. Today, we're going to be talking about the Jersey Shore BlueClaws, who play in Lakewood, New Jersey. Later on in this episode, I'll be speaking with Jason Klein of the design firm Brandiose, and I'll be speaking with my children, Maya and Olivia. And of course, Dan Simon will be here with a Studio Simon Stumper. Right now, I am so pleased to welcome both Greg Jamborisi, who is the Director of Communications and Radio Broadcaster, and Jamie Bertram, the Vice President of Promotions and Entertainment for the Jersey Shore BlueClaws. Jamie and Greg, you are on the Jersey Shore, which is one of my favorite places in the whole world, in Lakewood, New Jersey, working with the Jersey Shore BlueClaws, which is one of the most fun brands in minor league baseball. Thank you so much for joining me. This is I'm really looking forward to this.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's our pleasure.
I will put this question to both of you here, and you can decide who gets to answer it. What is a Blue Claw, and why is it appropriate for a baseball team in Lakewood, New Jersey, to be called the Jersey Shore BlueClaws?
So it's a Blue Claw's a crab, and they do a lot of crabbing and fishing in the area. And when the Blue Claws were formed back in 2001, a year prior, they did the typical name the team contest, and a number of people had submitted that name, and they picked. I was in high school at the time, but they picked Blue Claws. I think it was a great decision, and here we are.
So we were talking before we started recording here about the fact that both of you have been with the team for quite some time. Greg started as an intern in 2007. Jamie started as an intern in 2011. So you have both seen a couple different iterations of this brand. The current brand was unveiled in 2021 after COVID, created by Brandiose, a ton of fun alternate logos, really fun color palette, like red, yellow, blue, a whole like beach ball, beach umbrella thing. Jamie, I'll ask you this question. In 2021, what was the thinking in going from this brand that had been around for a decade at that point to this new one that Brandiose created?
So it was actually in the fall of 2020 where we were able to share that with our rebrand of what we came up with. And honestly, being with the team since 2011, it was kind of refreshing to kind of add to who we are. Prior to us having this ability to switch over to the Jersey Shore BlueClaws and adding different elements and colors to our palette, we didn't really have an idea of our personality, of who we were. It didn't come across when you were at the stadium or on any of our website. It was just more of a very generic minor league team. So when we were able to go and meet with a lot of other teams, whether it was at winter meetings or in the press at promo seminar, it was so cool to see how all these teams had personalities and were able to really take that across their merchandise and in their show for when fans were actually in the stadium. And I was kind of jealous because I was like, we don't have that. And how do we get that? And how do we figure out who we are? And then it wasn't until our new ownership came in and they were like, we want to become the Jersey Shore BlueClaws. And that was when it really was allowed us to open up what we are and what we represent.
Yeah, it kind of started in 2017. So we had a new ownership group, Shoretown Baseball. They came in July of 2017, and really from the beginning, they wanted to talk about kind of putting the Jersey Shore stamp on the ballpark. So really, even before the 2017 season ended, we were talking with them, and they said, hey, we want to do ABC. Well, one was a boardwalk game area out in center field, so you can come to the stadium and you can play balloon darts, cat rack, ring toss, goblet toss, hoop shot, just like you were on the boardwalk. And they wanted to add a mini golf course, typical, classic boardwalk mini golf course. So we have the boardwalk game area and a 9-hole miniature golf course. Both are open during the games. The mini golf course is really nice. Each hole is named after a former BlueClaws player. They put in the group that designed it, Harris Mini Golf. They put in, little canoes and small boats and giant beach balls and replica surfboards. It looks great. And then the boardwalk game, you couldn't tell that, you think you're right on the boardwalk with those games. So once you kind of establish that, then we were able to kind of take that next step going into 2021 with the rebrand to the Jersey Shore BlueClaws.
And what's really exciting about it all is that it allows us to tell a story about the Jersey Shore versus what people perceive us to be across the country. So we were able to take all these elements that we know locally and really push it out there for people to get a real grasp on who we are and what we represent versus just the thought and the perceived perspiration of like what MTV is pushing out to millions of people. And it's like we're fighting every day to show like, no, we are this really great beach community that is kind of a secret, that because when people think of New Jersey, they always think the worst, and like they always say like the armpit of the country or wherever it may be. But we've been able to really push all that aside and really promote what we have to offer.
Well, it's funny that you say this about the Jersey Shore, because I am a huge fan of the Jersey Shore. I grew up outside of Philadelphia. Our summer vacation for most of my childhood was going and staying with my grandmother in Wildwood, New Jersey. Since then, my whole extended family has been going to Ocean City, New Jersey. We've got a place, my brother has a place at 30th and Central in Ocean City. My kids count down to the Jersey Shore trip all year long, right? Like the food, the boardwalk, these incredibly beautiful beaches. I don't know that I've been to a place where I would rather go to the beach than at the Jersey Shore. It's like the perfect angle for like riding waves. You've got this beautiful white sand beach, just the right amount of sand, and so the Jersey Shore. I have that frustration too, because I live in Colorado, but I grew up in the Philadelphia area, still very much a Phillies fan, and so every summer we go to the Jersey Shore, and I have to fight that battle of no. Snooki's not even from there. She's from Ohio, right? Like it's not what so, but whatever, they can stay away and I'll go enjoy the Jersey Shore. But you really have doubled down on this in some really fun ways in this brand. Most of the logos feature the crab character himself, but there's one logo that is sunglasses that has reflections of a Ferris wheel and the roller coasters, which obviously is a part of every boardwalk experience. There's a beach ball that features prominently in the round L version of the logo. You do a hat that makes it look like you've got the sunglasses like resting on the brim of the cap. I found a cap that I absolutely loved where the top of it reflects like it's not just tritone, it's like quad tone, right? And the top of it reflects the colors of a beach ball. Each panel is a different color, and then the brim is like a sand. Like a sandy color to represent the sand. And I found it on the Ocean City, New Jersey boardwalk in a hat shop, and I bought it. And I love this hat.
This one.
There you go. You've got that one too.
Yeah.
I'm more of a dad hat guy. That one's got the flat brim there.
Yeah, me too.
But I have actually seen that hat twice. Once at a Tacoma Rainiers game way out in Washington.
Wow.
I saw a dude wearing this hat, and it was all like sweated up and dirty and everything. He like really loved this hat. And again, I actually saw it and I posted on Twitter a screen grab because I was watching a Red Sox game and there was a guy sitting right behind home plate wearing that cap. So super recognizable, super fun. Is it a beach ball or is it an umbrella? Which one am I? Is it meant to represent?
It was a beach ball.
A beach ball.
That was the original. Yeah, that one actually we unveiled in in February of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
We were going to use that one the year prior, and then we had already started the full Jersey Shore BlueClaws rebrand process, but we had unveiled this one for 2020, and then obviously COVID happened and there was no 2020 season, so we kept it around, and it is very popular. People love that one.
We talked in the pre-show interview about something really fun that you're doing around the ballpark to reinforce that connection to the shore. Can you tell that story here?
Yeah, so I was really kind of trying to dive into what we wanted this bar to look like. And we came out with, we wanted to feel like you're at a, like almost like a beach house right on the beach. So when you walk in, it's very light, like blue colors to remind you of like the ocean and the sky. And then we had like the gray, like wood flooring going across and the lighting underneath the bar. So we had a lot of really cool elements. And as I was kind of searching for what we wanted the furniture to be and all the decor, I came across a woman in Lacey, which is maybe 15-20 minutes south of here. And she makes beach badges out of wood, like has a carving machine. And I ended up finding her, and I was like, hey, like we're gonna be naming each of our luxury suites after each like hometown on the Jersey Shore. And I would love to buy a whole bunch of beach badges that you carve and have them displayed in our main bar area. So then they also reflect back to the different suites and all the different towns that we want to represent. And I was able to work with her, and I believe we had nine of these beach badges that she handmade and hand painted, and they are now on display upstairs in our bar. And it's wild how many people just like stop and are like, that's my favorite part of the bar. And it's really cool because it's a local person that handmade this stuff and was able to contribute their interest into what we did. And it was really cool. I was able to invite her and her family out to a game and let her see her work on display. And she was just kind of doing this for fun and selling it locally. And it ended up being something that is now one of our key elements that really makes the bar upstairs.
And then all the luxury suites, as Jamie said, have are named after a beach town. So we start the first suite on the far first base side is Cape May, the southern tip of New Jersey. And then the one on the third base side is the northern tip of the Jersey Shore, Sandy Hook. And then each suite in the middle is a different town. And a couple of them are decked out with a lot of pictures or murals of the area of that specific town. And then the long-term plan is to do that for all of them. So we'll try to do a few a year probably and add that. So that's just another neat touch that we have around the stadium.
I love that connection. That's really fun. I love that sort of local flair. And now I can't wait to get up there and see that. And the doubling down on the being at the shore, I think, is really important. Was that the main driver for changing the name from Lakewood to Jersey Shore?
Yeah. So I think, that was always kind of the plan. We draw from all over the Jersey Shore within about 25, maybe 30 miles of the stadium. And we draw, from every zip code and just kind of embracing the entirety of the region and the fact that we wanted to be the team of the community of the entirety of the Jersey Shore, kind of were that was the impetus really for the change. But that was always the plan was always Jersey Shore BlueClaws. The BlueClaws name had been established for a long time, since 2001. And, it's not like we were moving to a new stadium or, anything like that.
The location of the Jersey Shore BlueClaws is North Jersey. The divider line for me is the Atlantic City Expressway. And so you all are north of that, which I think of as being more sort of Yankees/Mets territory, and I'm very much a Phillies fan. New Jersey is sort of divided in half in my mind, like New York to the north, obviously, and Philadelphia to the south. How much does being a Phillies affiliate factor into your identity with drawing local fans?
So that's funny how you depict what is North Jersey and South Jersey, because that's been a argument, I would say, on the internet for years now, where it's also like the pork roll versus Taylor ham argument. People are like, what's North Jersey, what's South Jersey, where's the line, where's Central, all that. So that's funny that you consider Atlantic City Expressway like the northern version. Because I grew up here, and it's funny, a lot of people consider anything north of Lakewood is North Jersey, and any south of Lakewood is kind of a little bit of Central, and then Tom's River and below is South Jersey to us. So, because I grew up in Barnegat, which is exit, I think 67, also Parkway, and that's considered to us locally is South Jersey. But regarding our Phillies fans and Yankees fans, it really is divided because we are pretty much in the perfect location where I believe New York is 2 hours north and then Philly is an hour and a half, kind of southwest. So we're in that very mixed territory. And with having so many people from Philly coming in and buying houses and becoming more local, as well as New Yorkers, it kind of just all intertwines and mixes together. And that is a big question. A lot of people are like, when are you going to be a Yankees affiliate? When is this happening? But you know what? It is really nice that we do have the support from both of the teams of those fans that do encourage and love to come here. Even if they are a Yankees fan, they are supportive of our players and us as an organization.
There are more Phillies fans here now, like this is more anecdotal, but than there were when the team started. Just, you know, talking to people, you hear stories all the time about how, hey, they started coming to BlueClaws games and they saw Ryan Howard and they saw Cole Hamels and they saw Carlos Ruiz and they saw those guys do great with the Phillies and kind of became Phillies fans. One of our staff members here right now grew up 2 towns over from here, and his parents brought him to games to see the BlueClaws, and he became a Phillies fan. He's a huge Phillies fan, and he's proudly wearing his Phillies postseason sweatshirt that he got last year today. So there you go.
I want to ask you both about the Jersey Shore, since you both have been there for a while. I should mention, by the way, we were talking before we started. Greg, you just broadcast your 1,000th game with the BlueClaws. That's incredible. Congratulations
Here
on
at
that.
here at the ballpark. Yeah. So thank you. It's kind of crazy, but yeah.
And I
Thanks.
said too, I when I first started out with, you know, media and minor league baseball things, I did a goofy blog called Bloggers to Be Named Later with my friends. And I still have a press credential that you issued to me in 2014, back when you were the Lakewood BlueClaws. So anyway, so yeah, the longevity that you both have with the team, I think, is a really fun part of this story. And it sets up this question: what are your favorite things to do when you go to the shore?
I'll take that one. So I grew up here, like I said. So our normal weekend to us is going out on the boat and going to local sandbars and all the places that normally people can't reach by vehicle. So that's just like our normal weekend with friends and family. Is almost all of our friends have boats, and we all meet up and we all go to the same sandbars, or we move to different ones and the tides come in and stuff. So we kind of avoid all of the popular beach towns when it comes to summertime, because that's when you don't really want to be there because it's so much traffic and congestion and a lot of out of towners. So when September comes, we call it local summer, which is right after Labor Day. And that's when we get super excited, because that's when there's no lifeguards on the beaches. There's no beach badge checkers. Everyone goes back home, school starts, and it's the best time to go to the beach because there's nobody there. Front row parking, you can walk right in any restaurant, don't need reservations or anything. So yeah, and also going back to the BlueClaws, it's you go crabbing, you go fishing for fluke, and all the fun summer stuff that you can't really do any other time, which is I know a couple of our coworkers are not originally from New Jersey, and when they started getting into and learning about what there is to do here, they were kind of jealous. They're like, I never expected that these opportunities were here and that you could do this all the time versus having to go travel somewhere on a vacation to be able to enjoy it. So I always tell people that. I said, my life is your vacation in the summer.
So I obviously love the shore during the summertime, but we actually go down for New Year's Eve, and we celebrate New Year's Eve in Ocean City. And so that's just being at the shore in the wintertime. Even like September, I get, right? Like the weather is perfect and everything, but even in the wintertime, right? Like it's just so much fun to be there by the ocean. And so
they say salt air cures everything. So when you're having a bad day and you just
it's true.
Moment, even just driving 10 minutes down the street to go breathe in the beach air, it really changes kind of your attitude and your perception and how you're feeling. So it's also, I guess you could say, therapy.
Well, it's funny. You mentioned the winter and you said you're going to talk to Jason Klein from Brandiosa in a little while. So when part of their process, obviously, they always travel to the location of the team that they're going to help rebrand, and the way the calendar worked and, the timing or whatever, he came in the middle of January of 2020, right before COVID. It was the middle of the winter, but we drove up to Asbury Park and kind of picked our way down, had a great lunch, and even though it was the middle of the winter, that they certainly got the point across. They did an amazing job.
Well, I always love talking with Jason about these brands. I'm so pleased to finally get to feature you all on the podcast. It's such a fun brand. I am going to try to get my family to another game. I can't believe it's been since 2014. I didn't realize that until you actually asked that question, Greg. So thanks so much for coming on and talking about the BlueClaws. This is such a fun brand, and proud to wear BlueClaws gear as a Phillies fan.
Thanks, Paul. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
All right, everyone, welcome back. I am so pleased to be joined by my friend Jason Klein of Brandiose. Today, we're talking about the Jersey Shore BlueClaws, which is a really fun brand that you helped them redo. Going into that, I mean, this is just a really fun. We've been talking about like some of the great hats they have that have like the beach ball theme on top and whatnot.
Yeah.
But you guys went full Jersey Shore. You've got a beach ball in the Roundel logo. You've got the sunglasses resting on the brim of a cap with one of those logos.
Yeah.
The BlueClaw is on a surfboard rather than a boogie board, which is what I used as a kid. Now I just free surf, right? You just body surf now. So
that's right.
This is a really fun brand, uses the primary colors, and people love it. I see it all the time when I'm at the Jersey Shore with my family.
Yeah.
What were your challenges? What were you thinking going into this project?
I mean, the city of Lakewood is where the ballpark is, and for years, it's been the Lakewood BlueClaws, and obviously, the BlueClaws, the crab, that is the hero of the brand. But we just felt like to reach and I say we collectively, including team staff, felt like to reach a broader audience, it would be helpful to attach to something, like the Jersey Shore. The Jersey Shore, obviously, it's got national prominence with a TV show, but everybody on the East Coast knows it. And it's associated with fun and family, and just the idea of attaching the Jersey Shore as a brand, as a concept, to minor league baseball and family fun entertainment. That marriage seemed really logical. So it was, how do we, sort of celebrate everything from, the sand, the surf, you mentioned the beach balls, like everything that is sort of childlike and fun and playful. We have this alternate cap where it looks like the player has sunglasses raised above, on top of their head on their visor, and it's got amusement elements, structures, in the glare, if you will, of the reflection, I should say, of the glasses. So it's just about celebrating fun and life at the Jersey Shore.
It's interesting that you mentioned the TV show, because the TV show has been a little bit like the bane of my existence over the years, because my family and I grew up going to the Jersey Shore. My family and I go there every summer, and it really is like something that I associate with family fun and the family vacation. I'm there with my siblings and my parents and my nieces and nephews, and it is boardwalk rides and great food and being on the beach until 7:00. And the TV show is just like such an awful representation of what the Jersey Shore actually is. And people always I live in Colorado, and so when I say, hey, we're going to spend 2 weeks at the Jersey Shore, people are like, ugh, really? Because they don't understand like what it really is. Was that a challenge going into this, like having this place that does have a reputation, an unfair reputation based on preconceptions from this TV show? Snooki, by the way, as I have mentioned, is not even from New Jersey. She's from Ohio. So, what was that a challenge that you were sort of up against with creating sort of almost like a new brand for the Jersey Shore?
I mean, when you're there, it's very clear that that is not the general concept, right? It's a very small subset that's of the Jersey Shore pie. Like the TV show is it's a very small subset. So once you realize like that, and that part of the pie doesn't serve us, if you will, like in terms of what we're trying to do. So very quickly you're like, all right, we're not going to focus on that's part of the pie. What people do, the boardwalk, for example, like that's a great example, sort of like the sort of, elements of the Coney Island sort of, carnival games and the rides and like, the beach badges and like all of that, like the whole universe. And this is, someone coming from California, who doesn't, sort of, we had to be ingrained really quick to become honorary citizens to sort of get that. But even as somebody who my family didn't grow up going to the Jersey Shore, for example, like we still really quickly said like, oh, this is not the TV show. This is about this other fun stuff that's about family and, like you said, like being at the beach till 7. And so there's this sort of carnival, sort of just playfulness that, we incorporate into the brand. And so, obviously the Phillies, anytime you do a Phillies team identity, you have to start with Phillies red because all the players are going to wear red socks. Yeah. So anytime we're doing a Phillies red brand or Phillies brand, we start with red and then go from there. But this idea of, okay, well, we're going to have water in there. Yeah, probably. So then you get sort of blues. And I think just the idea of going in primary colors, right? So like the reds, the blues, the yellows, these primary colors, sort of basic colors are really sort of make it sort of youthful instantly. And then, just having, listen, hey, if you're not into the character on the board, awesome. We've got some other stuff. We got like, the crab logo, just like a, classic crab with like baseball stitching. Oh, like you want something a little more crazy, right? We got like the glasses on top of the head. So there's just all these different, or hey, I don't surf. Cool. We got a boogie board version, right? Or the crab, we've got like a version of the crab, like, coming out underneath the pail. There's just something for everybody. And I think that is a reflection of this idea of going to the Jersey Shore, which is there is something for everybody.
You mentioned the one logo that really stands out to me, the sort of traditional crab rather than the cartoon crab, is sort of a darker color palette. It's the dark blue and red.
Yeah.
And it's sort of ancillary to this brand. What was your thinking in adding that one to this suite?
Yeah, we always try to figure out like who are the polar opposite audiences that are going to be experiencing this brand, right? So if you're like, dad with like the polo shirt and you're just like, I can't do the cartoon stuff, right? I can't do the kid stuff. Like, it's not me. Like, dad at the Jersey Shore. Like, we're trying to like, all right, we get it. Right. We're trying to like, how do we give something for that audience? And so that's something, for years, I think really early on, Casey made that point, which was, let's not just treat this as one audience, but let's realize that, the audience is diverse. There's going to be different interests. There's going to be different approaches. There's going to be different tolerances for what, sort of the minor league baseball aesthetic is. Let's create something for everyone. As long as there's a through line that tells the story and everybody feels like, okay, this is part of the same family. We really try to sort of bridge those audiences. And ultimately, it's great out the gate because there's something for everyone. Ultimately, the sort of the more crazy, that becomes the headliner of the brand.
Well, I think that's true. Absolutely. And this character that you focused on, he's got different relationships with these sunglasses, by the way. Sometimes the sunglasses are on the hat. And then and the one where he's got the board under his arm, then he's actually wearing the sunglasses.
Hey, Paul, we all have different relationships with sunglasses.
That's true.
Sometimes they're annoying. Sometimes they're necessary. Sometimes you're just trying to look cool.
That's true.
We all have different relationships, and we want to honor your relationship with sunglasses.
I never look cool in anything, so I don't worry about it. My sunglasses.
Are you kidding me? I don't think the audience can see, but Paul has an impressive hat wall behind him of all kinds of cool logos designed by every designer, and it is a cool. Paul, you're cool. I'm just trying to cut to the chase. One of the things that I don't know if they're still doing it, but one of the things that the BlueClaws early on were famous for, and I thought was incredible, was they sold Got Crabs t-shirts. And they had different versions of them. So they had like a version of it that was from, that was in like German or Italian. There was a Gaelic version. And what was great about it was everybody like that was like the shirt you had to get, right? It was like you had to get that shirt. And what wound up happening was like people would then travel. So like if you're going to Germany or you're going to like Italy or if you're going to Ireland, people started wearing it. Now, obviously the Irish, German, Italian plays into heritage, East Coast heritage and that sort of thing. But people would wear them on vacation trips, and they would take like if you were traveling overseas, you're like, I gotta bring my Got Crab shirt. I got us in a photo. And they had like this like wall of fame. It was a digital wall of fame where you basically like sort of like just emailed your photo and it was approved. And they had this giant, like, it was like a digital wall on the Got Crabs page where you could like see your photo. And I just thought, man, that is like the greatest marketing thing. I don't know if they still do, but it was the greatest marketing thing ever because if you were going on vacation, you're thinking, well, I got to buy tickets, but I also got to buy my Got Crab shirt.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm sorry that I didn't see that there. I may have to find that next time I'm back.
If it's not that, I have photos. I'm looking at my website, like of like like we got to bring it back if it's not there because it's definitely the greatest minor league marketing concept.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, I have a couple of rapid fire questions for you here, Jason.
Yes.
Okay, you grew up going to the beach. You are from San Diego originally.
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. You want me to expand?
Well, maybe this will come out in the rapid fire questions here. So
okay, got it. Okay, so rapid fire, got it. Okay.
So beach themed rapid fire questions here. Your favorite boardwalk food?
Oh man, San Diego. It's like California burritos, which are burritos with French fries in it. Like that's what we eat out here on the boardwalk. So our boardwalk's a little bit different. It's concrete. But that's but California burrito.
The day I visited your studio, I spent the morning at a burrito place right on the beach, right on the boardwalk there. And I enjoyed a California burrito, my first ever real live California burrito.
Was it Roberto's?
I don't remember the name of the place.
Okay, all right.
I'm sorry. All right. What's your favorite beach activity?
Beach activity. Oh man, I do love body surfing, but I also do love making like a really fun sandcastle.
A sandcastle. Oh, I could.
I like just the idea of like as sort of a designer, like the idea of how the instant, like how malleable, like like the raw materials right there. You just add water and like you can create a whole universe.
I would imagine a grandiose sandcastle creation would be really something to behold.
I mean, whatever we're doing, like, let's do it. Like, I think it's so how fast you can move, how like, like the raw material is endless. Like you just create, you don't like it, you just pour water on it and start over.
Absolutely. And then you're on vacation, you're at the beach first thing in the morning, beach later in the afternoon.
Ooh, I'm a late afternoon beach person.
Yeah.
I like when like the sun's setting and like the sky is like a little bit of lavender, maybe like a little bit of peach.
Yeah.
Everybody's sort of like there's that moment where like the day is wrapping up and the night is about to ignite and it's a transition time. I like that.
I have two daughters. One would spend her entire day in the water. Yeah. And the other will sit on the sand and read the entire day or play beach games. Bocce ball, is sort of the main one. Cornhole.
I'm in the water.
You were in this was my
100%.
question. In the water or on the sand?
100%.
I am with you on that. Last one, perfect water temperature at the beach.
Ooh, perfect water temperature?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'll tell you mine is 72.
I mean, let's do it.
72? I
don't like the Pacific is pretty cold, generally speaking.
Yeah.
And then it gets warm and you get jellyfish and I don't like it. I don't like it like bone chilling cold, although I'm used to it.
Yeah. Better than like 110 like it was in Florida earlier this summer. So.
No. I like, oh man, like when we go to like the Florida and we're like in the water, like Gulf Coast, and it's like, like that perfect, like you said, like 70 degrees or whatever. I don't want like bath water, like not like sort of like nasty hot, but like when it's like this is refreshingly warm.
Yep.
Not quite cool, not too hot. Like that's clutch.
We were in Clearwater and it was a bathtub. So, Jason, this is always so much fun.
Yeah.
You coming on talking about the BlueClaws. Obviously, we'll talk to you again soon. But for now, thanks so much, and we'll see you again in the near future.
Always fun.
All right, everyone, welcome back. I am so pleased to welcome to the podcast for the very first time my own two children, Olivia and Maya, ages 19 and 16. Olivia and Maya, hello, how are you doing?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing very well, Maya.
I'm good.
The reason Olivia and Maya are here is because we've been talking a lot on this episode about the fact that the Jersey Shore is a huge part of my family experience. When I moved to Colorado, I said it's very important to me to make sure we get the kids back to the Jersey Shore because it was a part of my childhood. I wanted it to be a part of your childhoods as well. I don't know if childhoods is a word, but the Jersey Shore, it's something we count down to every year. We love it so much. We have such a great time. We know now that we're like 9 months away. Usually around Christmas time, we start saying like, the Jersey Shore is only so far away. Maya, I'll start with you first. Why do you count down to the shore so much? What is it that you love about your, as a native Coloradan, you love the Jersey Shore. Why do you love the Jersey Shore so much?
Well, aside from seeing family and beaches and ice cream and all that, it's tradition.
Maya loves the tradition. Now, Olivia, how about you? The Jersey Shore, what do you love so much about it? Why do you count down all year long to it?
Well, Maya said a lot of the fun stuff. Like it's fun to see family. It's fun. We don't get that much time at the beach being in such an intensely landlocked state. So like getting to see the beach and be in like the warm, humid environment and like all the fun food and activities going on the boardwalk, all stuff like that is just everything we do is fun.
You both are something of world travelers. Maya traveled to both Guatemala and Spain recently. Olivia has traveled throughout Europe, has been to some amazing places, and yet the Jersey Shore is always one of the things that you highlight. How would you compare the Jersey Shore to the beaches of the world? Olivia, we'll start with you this time.
I think it's a very different thing, I guess, just because with all those other places that you mentioned, like Australia and Spain and Greece, like those are all absolutely amazing, but they're new experiences, they're new things that we haven't done before, and so you never really know what to expect going into it. While the shore is just like it's a constant. You always like know what you're getting, you know what the weather is going to be like, you know that you're going to be able to get good rides and see all the fun people. You get to play in the sand. We have our beach games with us every time we go, and it's just like you know that it's going to be fun no matter what.
Australia and Greece and Spain, they're all places you have been. Maya, how about you? How's the Jersey Shore compare to the beaches of the world?
I can put my face in the water without worrying about my eyes stinging for the next 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, that happens in other parts of the world where you get
Yeah, like the Mediterranean Sea.
Yeah.
It's so salty. It hurts sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I've got some rapid fire questions for you here. Maya, we'll start with you. Favorite food at the Jersey Shore?
Kessel's ice cream.
Hetzel's ice cream. Olivia, how about you?
It's funny, I was actually just talking about this with my friend group today, but at the clam bar, the clam chowder, it's just something I look forward to all year, and it's amazing.
Okay, Olivia, your favorite ride at the boardwalk?
Oh, there's this tall blue one. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the fastest, biggest one they have, and it just like really throws you around, gets the adrenaline pumping. That's always my go-to.
Maya.
The pirate ship or double shot, because they both give really good views of the ocean.
That's true.
That's very pretty.
So
Double
both
shot is
very
my
good
favorite.
answers.
How about your favorite activity on the beach?
Cornhole.
Napping, reading, and body surfing.
Body surfing is my favorite. Absolutely. Being in the water. Maya is the water bug. Olivia is the sand crab.
Which is ironic because sand crabs live in the water.
That's true. Good point. All right.
I go in the water.
You guys have 5 cousins. Rank them from 1 to 5. Olivia, you go first.
No.
No.
All
Maya?
tied for third place.
All tied for 3rd place. Okay. It's right in the middle there. What is your favorite boardwalk activity? Maya?
The bike rides.
Oh, we go for a ride on the boardwalk. Absolutely. Olivia?
Yeah.
Going to the amusement park, going to the rides is always fun. But I think honestly, I just love like a fun night of going and doing like stupid mini golf courses. Like that's just always so much fun.
The
Yeah.
stupid mini golf courses are great. Mini golf is a great part.
which I almost won last year.
Yeah.
The first time.
What's the best marine life you have seen in the actual ocean, Olivia?
Well, I remember last year we saw dolphins. Like they got right up close. They were jumping around the boats and coming like kind of close to shore. So that was really, really cool to see that. But it's also like always fun to see the smaller things like horseshoe crabs and stuff.
Maya.
Horseshoe crabs is crazy. The dolphins were really cool last year, but also we see so many manta rays.
Mm.
And they come up like right to the edge of the water, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the little sand crabs are fun too.
I like seeing the manta rays in the waves, like when the wave is just about to crash and then you see the manta ray there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things there. Okay, so I feel like the Jersey Shore, we've talked about this a little bit on this episode. The Jersey Shore has kind of a reputation that, people who haven't been there before have a certain sort of perception of what they think the Jersey Shore is. When you talk to your friends about the Jersey Shore, you tell them, you're looking forward to this big Jersey Shore trip. What do you think that perception is, and do you have to correct them on it?
The first thing that people always say is they're like surprised that I'm excited to go to New Jersey, just because like I think there's somewhat of a reputation of people like not really thinking of that as like a really nice beach place. But when I actually explain like all the fun stuff and pretty buildings and nice beaches and like there's just so many things to do, they always come around in the end.
Maya?
Well, in my friend group, there isn't really a reputation anymore because I talk about it so much that they know I don't have to correct them anymore.
That's good. You've proselytized on behalf of the Jersey Shore. So, all right. This is the final question, and I'll let you guys get out of here. I know that you both have to clean your rooms and do your homework and brush your teeth and change the kitty litter and pack your lunches and study for school. What are chores that kids do? I don't know. Vacuum the floor.
I don't have to do anything. I don't have school tomorrow.
Shut up.
Why do you not have school tomorrow? You're a grown college student.
Yeah, I just don't feel like going.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm kidding. It's Founders
Your bed
Day.
was too comfortable.
Okay. Maya, I'm going to start with you this time. What is the perfect shore day?
So wake up at like 10.
Mm-hmm. Which is early for you.
And then Dots Donuts.
Dots Donuts. The vanilla cream. The vanilla cream Dots Donuts or the Boston cream.
Boston cream.
Okay.
Boston cream is superior.
Mm.
And then spend many hours at the beach, like until the sun is almost setting. That's the best time. And they're good riding waves, good napping weather. And then grilled burgers.
Uncle Dave's grilled burgers, absolutely.
And then ice cream at Churn House.
All right. This is a little exercise that we do like every year. And every year the answer changes as to what the perfect beach day or the perfect day at the shore is. Olivia, how about you?
I would start out, wake up probably like 7:30 or 8. Go get bagels and iced coffee down in Margate, and then come back, sort of hang out, do the Wordle and the crossword, all those games.
Nerd.
I'm sort of going into this with the assumption that there's no food limit. So after hanging out for the morning, getting some Wawa for lunch.
Wawa hoagies for
It's
lunch,
like-
absolutely.
About that.
Yeah.
It's just special coming from Colorado or Washington. And then, yeah, head down to the beach. I'm in the middle of a good book and playing cornhole, and the water's nice, all those fun things, hang out on the beach for a while. And I think I agree with Uncle Dave's burgers for dinner, Kessel's for dinner, and then watch an episode of a fun show or play Mexican Train Dominoes, stuff like that.
Okay. I'm going to answer this question too, just because it's so much fun. For me, it's getting up and pretty early before it gets too hot and going for a run on the boardwalk. That run on the boardwalk is then at the end of that, you take a quick dip in the ocean at 7:30, 8 in the morning at the end of your run, because you've worked up a good sweat there in the steamy East Coast humidity.
All that oxygen there.
All that oxygen on the East Coast at sea level. It's amazing. Come back, have some coffee, iced coffee, Wawa for lunch. Agree with that. And then a great shore day. Stay there late on the beach, riding waves, till 6:30ish, maybe come back. Gin and tonic on the roof with some chips and guac, some homemade chips and guac. Uncle Dave's gin and tonics, my chips and guac. And then we head out to the clam bar for dinner. And then after the clam bar, we get ice cream, Core Brothers soft serve custard on the boardwalk, do some rides, the blue roller coaster. I like the double shot as well. I like that big double shot one. And then go back to the house on Central Avenue, 30th and Central. Go to bed, do it all over the next day. Well, if nothing else, this has made me really long for the shore trip, which is just 9 short months away. So we're looking forward to that. Olivia, Maya, first time you've ever been on the podcast. I know that you're both avid listeners of the podcast, so I appreciate that very much. Olivia, what is your favorite episode of the podcast so far?
The Tortugas episode. That one.
Tortugas.
That I actually did listen to that episode. It was good. I liked it. It was interesting.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Maya, what's your favorite episode of the podcast so far?
All of them.
Oh, Maya loves all of them. All right, children, go to bed, clean your rooms, brush your teeth.
Olivia, it's getting late there.
It's 9:30. It's an hour earlier.
I know, I'm kidding.
Olivia is joining us live from Gonzaga University. Go Zags. Not Gonzaga. It's not Go Zogs. It's Go Zags. Gonzaga University in Spokane, not Spokane. And someday when I come out to pick Olivia up from school, Maya and I are going to come out there, pick Olivia up from school, and we're going to hit a Spokane Indians game to add another minor league baseball stadium to the list. Children, great job. Thanks so much. Go to bed.
Okay.
Bye, nerd.
All right, everyone, welcome back. Here we are once again for Studio Simon Stumpers with Dan Simon of Studio Simon, live from Louisville, Kentucky. Dan, good morning. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you. I'm looking forward to this particular Stumper segment. Though I was born in the Bronx and lived the first 7 years of my life in New York City, we then moved to suburban New Jersey. My dad still worked in the city. I went to college in the city. Shout out to the School of Visual Arts, where I graduated from, also the alma mater of friend of the show, Todd Radom. But I consider myself, even though it's been a long time since I've lived there, a Jersey boy. Grew up, my formative years were in New Jersey, and I spent many a weekend day down at the Jersey Shore. So people in New Jersey, you probably know this, they do not go to the beach, they go down the shore. Though I've spent many a weekend day down the shore, I had never been to a Jersey Shore BlueClaws game, formerly the Lakewood BlueClaws, until this summer, when I spent a weekend down the shore with my best friend and best man at my wedding, and I was best man at his wedding, George Mazzio. Hello, George, if you're listening.
He better be if he's your best friend.
So I'm looking forward just to talk Jersey Shore. And our host of the Baseball by Design podcast spends a week down the shore every summer. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, so this has been well established on this episode. There's nothing quite like a day swimming in the ocean, riding the waves, getting some Mac and Manco's pizza, and then heading down the boardwalk, doing some rides, getting some Core Brothers ice cream. It's the perfect day.
And maybe catching a minor league baseball game.
Maybe catching a minor league baseball game. It's about an hour and change to get from Ocean City, New Jersey up to Lakewood, but we have in fact done that. And it's a great ballpark. When I was there, they were the Lakewood BlueClaws, so it's been a minute. We got to get back there. They are a potential target, by the way, for Baseball Palooza 2024. We're looking at possibly a Philly-based Baseball Palooza in 2024.
That would be a great one. It would be a return trip for you to see. Well, you've never seen the Jersey Shore BlueClaws play,
Right.
so it would be your first Jersey Shore BlueClaws game, technically. Speaking of Lakewood and Jersey Shore, our studio Simon Stumper today asks, what team was it that moved to Lakewood, New Jersey and became the BlueClaws? Was it A, the Capital City Bombers, B, the Piedmont Boll Weevils, or C, the Cape Fear Crocs?
So the Piedmont Boll Weevils, who at one time were a Phillies affiliate, like the BlueClaws are now. They have a fun logo, by the way. That's one of those classic old sort of pest-based logos. The Cape Fear Crocs are not one that I am very familiar with. I don't know much about the Cape Fear Crocs. The Capital City Bombers, when you first said that, sort of jumped out at me as being the answer. The only thing that gave me a little bit of pause is I know that the Piedmont Boll Weevils are now or have been replaced by the Kannapolis Cannonballers. So we have had the Piedmont Boll Weevils did play, were a Phillies affiliate, are no longer a Phillies affiliate. We have seen their name revived as a retro brand. But Capital City Bombers just felt right to me when you said it. I'm going to go Capital City Bombers.
Okay. You are not off the schneid. The Capital City Bombers did move, but they moved to Greenville, South Carolina in 2005, played one season as the Greenville Bombers, and then changed their name to their current sobriquet. Sobriquet, is that the right pronunciation of that word?
Yeah, nicely done.
The Drive. They are now the Greenville Drive. They changed their name to that when they moved into their new stadium. And the Piedmont Boll Weevils, you are correct. They did not move. They just changed their name. They were indeed a Phillies affiliate. They were the Piedmont Boll Weevils, but changed their name to the Kannapolis Intimidators after the 2000 season when NASCAR legend Dale Earnhardt purchased a share in the team ownership. And his nickname, one of his nicknames was the Intimidator, and that's why they changed it to that. That's been discussed on this podcast, not this episode, but a much earlier episode. So the answer is the Cape Fear Crocs, who moved from Cape Fear, South Carolina to Lakewood, New Jersey, and are now the Jersey Shore BlueClaws.
How about that? Dan, there was part of me that even wondered if Cape Fear Crocs was a real team or if that was a Dan Simon creation. So that, again, would have been my third guess. The Capital City Bombers felt right to me. Piedmont seemed like a possibility because it was a Phillies affiliate. I thought maybe they moved from Piedmont to Lakewood to make room for Kannapolis. And then the Cape Fear Crocs sounds like something out of a movie. Sounds like a fake minor league baseball name out of like an episode of Quantum Leap or something.
And speaking of movies, there was a movie, actually, this movie was done twice called Cape Fear. The original one starred, if I'm not mistaken, Robert Mitchum. And the remake, which more of your listeners might be familiar with, although at this point it's 20 or so years old, starred Robert De Niro, Nick Nolte, Jessica Lange, and Juliette Lewis. It's actually a really good movie. So for those of you who haven't seen it and don't mind watching sort of an older movie, but certainly the Robert Mitchum one was much older. I've never seen that one, but it's a good movie. I think I've given movie recommendations before. Not too long ago, I gave
Dan Simon's Movie Club. Yeah, there was a baseball one. Everybody wants some.
Yeah, that's right. That was a recent episode. We discussed that, done by the same producer director that did Dazed and Confused. So
It came up on the Modesto Nuts episode. I learned recently, speaking of great movies that have been remade, and this is a total tangent, I learned for the first time ever that one of my all-time favorites, The Bourne Identity, that there was a made-for-TV version of The Bourne Identity in like the 80s starring Richard Chamberlain that I did not know existed. And if you Google it, you can find the entire like 3-hour thing on YouTube and sit there and watch this terrible version of The Bourne Identity with Richard Chamberlain made for TV in the late 80s. I had no idea that that existed.
Nor did I. That's news to me. The things you learn on the Baseball Design Podcast.
Dan, Simon, thank you once again, as always, for stopping by with your Studio Simon Stumper. We've got some exciting episodes coming up. This is the next century of Baseball by Design here. This is episode 101. And time marches on, as always, Dan. So thanks for being a part of it. And we will see you next week.
Okay, looking forward to it. Have a good week and watch Cape Fear.
Okay, and don't watch that other Bourne Identity.
Right.